Hello everyone and welcome to our channel, and today I'll be reading a played Listener by me. So let's get into it. The Astral Express was unusually quiet tonight. The soft hum of the engine and the distant clinking of the machinery were the only sounds accompanying the stars outside the window. You found yourself in the common area, a cozy spot with plush sheets and warm lighting, where you often retreated to read or simply gaze out into the vastness of space. Tonight, however, you were not alone. Blade, with a stoic demeanor and enigmatic presence, had chosen the seat opposite you. His eyes were closed, and his usual expression of deep contemplation seemed softer, more relaxed. The air around him, though still charged with this distinct energy, felt different, perhaps gentler even, and you found yourself shifting within your seat, glancing up from your book as you looked at him. Blade, you seem different tonight, he mumbled, and his eyes opened, a flicker of curiosity passing through them as they met your own. Different? His voice was low, almost a murmur, but it carried through the quiet space. Yeah, you replied, putting your book aside. You know, less intense, more at ease. It's nice. I love seeing you like this. He let out a soft chuckle, a rare sound that made your heart skip a beat. Perhaps you have a calming effect on me then. That's the only reason I can see. You found yourself blushing a little bit, leaning back into the couch. Perhaps. I think that's a nice reasoning. You say. You want him to appreciate your presence, and you know he does. It's just not often that he voices it, and when he does, it's something that you appreciate, of course. Blade tilted his head slightly, his gaze never leaving yours. A small smile tugged at the corners of his lips as he stared at you. It was quite a thing to see, really. His smiles were rare, and right now you were being given one, with little to no effort at all. It felt like you won the lottery. And a comfortable silence settled between you two after. The kind that did not need to be filled with words. You could feel the warmth radiating from him, an unspoken invitation to come even closer. And gathering your courage, you got up on the couch and sat right next to him, sliding over to his sides, your movements slow and deliberate. And eventually, as you got too close, you felt a bit nervous as you asked, "Is this all right?" You whisper, your voice quiet, and he nodded, his expression softening even more. It's more than okay. Taking that as a cue, you settled beside him, that proximity allowing you to feel the steady rhythm of his breathing. Tentatively, you leaned against his shoulder, expecting him to pull away, but instead, he felt his arm wrap around you, drawing you even closer. Comfortable? He asked, his voice a gentle rumble that vibrated through you. Very, you replied, closing your eyes and relaxing into his embrace. Blade's hand moved slowly, almost hesitantly, to rest on your shoulder. The touch was light, as if he was still unsure of this newfound closeness. You reached up, placing your hand over his, giving it a reassuring squeeze. You don't have to hold back, Blade. You whispered. I'm here. He took a deep breath, his grip tightening slightly as he pulled you even closer. I'm not used to this, he admitted, his voice tinged with vulnerability. Being close to someone like this. Neither am I, you confessed, but I like it. For a while, you simply sat there, wrapped in the other's presence. The stars outside continued their silent dance, casting a soft glow through the window. Blade's fingers traced absent patterns on your shoulder, each touch sending a pleasant shiver down your spine. Tell me about the stars, he said suddenly, his voice breaking the comfortable silence. You looked up at him, surprised. The stars? He nodded. I want to hear your thoughts on them. You took a moment to gather your thoughts, your gaze drifting to the window. They're mysterious, I guess. Each one has its own story, its own place in the universe. They're beautiful and distant, yet they make me feel connected to something bigger. And he listened intently, his eyes reflecting the starlight. And what about us? Do you think we're like the stars? In a way, he mused. We have our own stories, our own paths, but sometimes they cross, and we create something beautiful together. His hold on you tightened slightly, a silent acknowledgement of your words. I'm glad our paths crossed. Me too, he replied softly, and the night wore on, but neither of you felt the passage of time. In that moment, with Blade's arms around you and the stars as your witness, everything in the world felt right. The usual barriers around his heart seemed to melt away, leaving behind only the warmth of his presence and the comfort of his embrace. And as you began to drift off to sleep, you felt Blade press a gentle kiss to the top of your head. Good night, he whispered, his breath warm against your hair. Good night, Blade, you murmured, a content smile on your lips. In the vast universe, amidst the silence and the stars, you found a moment of peace with him, a moment that you would forever cherish.